2023 Outrageous Predictions. Welcome to Mark and Pete. Here are some thoughts.
The new year brings many a celebration, dismantling each tatty Christmas decoration. The economy experiences more stagnation, but the egos of politicians see greater inflation. King Charles prepares for his coronation and then quickly considers abdication. Prince Harry looks for a spare adaptation. Instead, it's an example of recycled pulverization. The church calls time with a proclamation and closes all the doors of every congregation. Environmentalists are glued to every gas station as they spark a new fuel of human biodegradation. Jeremy Clarkson issues his latest Meghan elucidation, then she pooh-poohs his work with festering fertilization. The Labour Party proposes more reforms to energy liberation, and the House of Lords is a solution for burning fossilization. The UK government opens old coal pits in complete desperation, but sells holes to the public to give them new accommodation. Matt Hancock is captured and returned to wild forestation, but he eventually escapes and ends up running the nation. God considers migrating to Britain with much jubilation, and then he prefers a better life in total hell and damnation. Clergyman Pete, yes, those are my predictions for 2023. I ask you, what do you think about the year ahead?
Well, businessman Mark, I have some thoughts about what's going to happen based on what we've seen in the previous year. But I guess my main thought is the same but worse. I'm thinking of the conflict in Ukraine. I see the military machinery of Russia grinding out a continuing war and slowly decimating the Ukrainian army. I see the problems with the UK economy not improving, but people gradually coming to terms with the fact that they're slightly poorer and things not really turning around, but the PR machine for the government keeping us thinking that it's going okay. I see the green agenda moving on. I see claims that there's been a record-breaking hot year in 2023, despite the fact that it's already freezing cold, and policies put in place that ruin our energy industry and energy supplies for the foreseeable future. I see, in other words, 2023, a new year, but full of the same problems and getting worse. So on that cheerful thought, back to you, Mark.
Well, I must admit, let's roll on 2024. Let's skip 2023 altogether. Yeah. Well, I agree with you. There is one sort of glimmer of hope, and I sort of alluded to it. I mean, the nation will be galvanized, I'm sure, with the fact that we are going to have, of course, the coronation of King Charles. King Charles III, yes, it's, even though he is the king, he still has not been coronated. But I think that this is something that we all look forward to. There's nothing like, yes, a great spectacle, great pageantry, and lots of people wearing crowns. I do think that we love it.
Yes, we do. I do it very well. No, King Charles himself has been saying it's going to be a rather dumbed down, pared down. I can't remember. He probably didn't say dumbed down, but slimmed down, I think.
Yes.
So a version of the coronation.
Yes, and I don't think he will abdicate, incidentally. I mean, it would be a great stunt, but I don't.
No, but I think the original service was 3 hours. Well, I say original, the last time it was done with me. It might be slightly shorter, and it may have different people there. So you have some normal people allowed in, however you define that.
In Britain.
But the funeral for the Queen was a great coming together moment. People seem to remember. I saw many examples of this across media and social media. People seem to remember what it meant to be British, and they recovered some of that dignity and some of that backbone. And some of that involves not being told what to do, not being pushed around, and they'd forgotten that during the lockdowns.
Yes, there is
because
a.
they've been scared into it. Are they going to, in the coronation, remember it again? And also remember that we're a Christian nation. Now,
Well, quite.
non-Christians, people of other religions, have no problem with it. I mean, you don't get Muslims saying, "Oh yeah, I expect you to follow Islam." They want us to. Obviously, that's their religion, but they happy with it being. They understand that it's a Christian nation, but your secular liberal people, including many of our politicians, seem to think that we ought to move away from Christianity, which is the system of thought that made our country great in the first place. Maybe this coronation, it being a Christian service, unless King Charles has massive changes to it, that maybe this will remind people again that we are a Christian nation, despite only
Yes.
47% of people saying that they identify as Christian.
Yeah.
There isn't another religion anywhere near close to Christianity. So
Correct.
it of any religion, it's Christian.
Well, the other thing, of course, on a slightly different note, I do hope that this time we can at least have some consistency with the same Prime Minister. 2022 saw.
What is your? Well, this is meant to be predictions.
Well,
So will there be one
predict,
Prime Minister?
I
or
predict
two?
woefully that
Or three?
we will have the same one, and that's that. Unfortunately, as a
Yeah,
counter
yeah.
argument, is a case for saying, look, could we at least swap him? But
It's good that it's one. Just
at
please
least
not this
one,
one.
but
Is what
we
you
need some point of consistency. But here's the other thing. I mean, I know that people have predicted that the UK economy is going to be bad, and I think it will be tough. It will be tough for a number of people. What I'm worried about, probably more importantly, and you slightly alluded to it, is again more divides across society. That the poor will get poorer, the rich will get richer, and I think that there will be an element of that. I know that depending on where you live, predictions say that actually, ironically, house prices won't be going down as much as some people had thought. Hence, the idea of opening up coal mines and sticking people down there. It would be an option, but I suppose that some people will be warm. I think that the desperation that we see throughout Britain is something that does need to be addressed. But here's the thing. I do think, though, that what you might see, and here's a prediction, is a surge of a new political party. Now, who will that be? That will actually be, because let's face it, the Labour Party isn't exactly the strongest of oppositions that we've seen, despite the worst government almost in history, nearly wrecking our entire economy, being incompetent on every front. So there is an opportunity there, folks. Now, will that be something like a Reform UK Party, a resurgence in some way? Will Nigel Farage maybe even set up something? It's the right time. I think 2023 is the time for a new political party. Will we see it? Don't know, but I think it is something that is definitely needed. Broken Britain is definitely there. Is this the time to start repairing it?
Yeah, I guess. As the clergyman of the two, you the businessman, I'm the clergyman, just to remind you, I suppose I should say something about the religious state and what I think is going to happen with it. I think there's a strong possibility, this is not the UK specifically, but a strong possibility that the Pope will retire. The previous Pope who retired, having just died,
passed away,
yes, at the end of 2022. He has previously stated, the current Pope Francis has previously stated that this set a precedent. Another Pope had resigned 600 years earlier, but in modern times it set a precedent that a Pope could retire, and he thought it should be the way they proceed. Now, he was in his 90s, the Pope who died. The current Pope Francis, is 88. So I just have a feeling that his predecessor having died, he may well now look to be retiring himself in 2023. Who will his replacement be? Will it be a dynamic young Pope who can revitalise the church? In terms of the Church of England, the church that I'm a member of and a minister in, my prediction for 2023 is what we might call more descent into wokery.
Yes.
Although the bishops, the leaders in the Church of England, the people in general, some exceptions, of course, are very nice people and good at their job as laid out for them. So this isn't a criticism of the people in your. They've been recruiting and having the job spec subtly changed to being that of a manager, and they're managing, it seems, deliberate decline in the church. What we need is leadership in the same ilk that you're talking about politically. We need it politically. We need it religiously. We need strong, dynamic leaders. We need courageous men and women. We don't. You see, there's a saying by I think by Rushduni, the theologian, that that in difficult times you need. He was just talking about men. You need brave men, not careful men. The careful men come later and write the biographies of the brave men. That was how he put it, but paraphrasing, because I can't remember the exact quote. But that's what we need. We need men and women, I believe, to stand up and be counted. We need some great leaders, and I think if we pray, and that there will be those people coming forward in the church and in politics. But 2023, I see, this is my seeing of it, the biological reproductive mission of cells, in which there's a section called the interphase. Cells reproduce by splitting in two. But before they do that, they're about to split, and nothing happens for a bit. But what's actually happening is a whole new nucleus is being produced for the second cell, because they're split into two. And that's called the interphase. Nothing's happening, because it used to be believed nothing was happening. In other words, I think 2023 is going to be an interphase. I think there's going to be the same prime minister, the same church leaders, and more broadly, I think things are going to go on the same problems but worse.
Well,
but so religiously speaking, I was talking about religion. I see there being a building up an opportunity for a great revival, turning of fortunes of Christianity in this country. But I think this year will be 2023, the year we're talking about, is the year of the raising up of new leaders. And 2024, let's fast forward to there. That'll be the good year.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's paving the way. And here's the other thing, just to close out. I mean, on a lighter note, I think entertainment, you mentioned about the wokery. I think we've seen a lot of that in many productions. But here's the thought, who will be the next James Bond? Now, I will know, Clergyman Pahid, that it will not be you, but it could be me. That's a thought. It's a thought.
What are you basing that on, that it could be you? In the last James Bond?
Hope.
Well, the last James Bond, when he took the role, was said to be too short and too ugly, and I think those are adjectives that could be used to describe you. So I mean, maybe maybe you could take on the part. Let us know what you think, gentle listener. Have a great new year. Have a great 2023. And
let's look
stick
for
with
2024, for goodness sake.
We'll be commenting through 2023 and then ready for the big celebration when we at last reach 2024. Bye for now.